With the NBA playoffs coming up soon, we're making our predictions for them. But let's start East. Drew, starting with this play-in tournament, we have Indiana, Washington, and Boston and Charlotte. Who do you have going on, making it through right now? Those are the seeded teams. We're going off who is projected right now in those seeds. That could shake up, but we're just doing it how it is right now as of May 11th. We have 9 seed Indiana, 10 seed Washington, 7 and 8 Boston and Charlotte. So Drew, take it away.
Yeah, well, in the Eastern Conference, especially with the play-in teams, I'm not expecting that to shift around a whole heck of a lot. I do tend to agree with Luka Doncic and LeBron James, and that the play-in is stupid. However, it's what we have, right? I'm not really expecting any of these teams, with the exception of the Los Angeles Lakers, who I don't think would be the 7th seed, except for horrendous injuries, which is a whole another can of worms to open, right? They're the only one of any of these teams that I think has any sort of shot to actually contend for a championship this year. But that's in the Western Conference. So we're going to stick with the East. So the 9th and 10th seed, we had the Pacers and the Wizards. The interesting thing with the Wizards is that any given game they can go off, right? I mean, Bradley Beal can drop 50. Russell Westbrook can, get a million rebounds and stuff, because that's what you want your guard doing, right? I'm expecting Indiana to pull it out marginally. I think they have a much more complete team than what the Wizards do there. But I don't think it matters a whole heck of a lot right here, because I think that team is still neither of those teams do I think is going to end up advancing into the playoffs. I expect Boston, even with losing Jaylen Brown for the rest of the season, I still expect them to be able to beat the Hornets to solidify the 7th seed. In the Hornets, I just have to say, kudos to Michael Jordan in rebuilding that team. Gordon Hayward revitalized his career this year. Based on a pure value signing, might have been the best free agent signing in the offseason. LaMelo Ball, even though he's out now, looks like a real player. So good things with Charlotte going forward. And I'm just going to pick them beating Indiana then. So Indiana beating Washington and advancing to play Charlotte, the loser of Boston and Charlotte. And then I think that Charlotte's going to win. So I think that the order is still going to be the 7th and 8th team in the seeds are going to be the ones that will be advancing. Once we get there, though, I have in our next round, the 76ers absolutely destroying the Charlotte Hornets. I think that's going to be a 4-game sweep. I have the Bucks right now. They are matching up in the number 3 seed. It's going to be what I think that the 76ers are most likely still going to have that number 1 seed, but the Bucks and the 76ers, the Bucks and the Nets keep on going back and forth between the 2 and the 3 seed. And that could have some real implications of who's going to have home court during that matchup. Right. So I have Milwaukee versus the Heat. Milwaukee really does not want to play the Heat. I get it. I still think I think they're a much better team this year with Jrue Holiday and know what they have to do. So I think they're going to beat the Heat. And then I think the Nets are going to roll the Celtics. Last matchup we have here between the 4 and the 5 seed. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's the Knicks and the Hawks. I actually think that the Hawks they're a significantly more fun team to watch. And I think that they have more talent. I still have no idea how the Knicks have the 4 seed right now. So I'm actually going to go with the slight underdog here. I think Atlanta's going to pull that one out in advance. So when we look at this now, we have Philadelphia will be going up against the Atlanta Hawks, and we have Milwaukee going up against the Brooklyn Nets. I think, and this is probably more of my bias as a Milwaukee Bucks fan than anything else. I think that the Brooklyn Nets, when healthy, you can make the case that maybe they aren't the most complete team in the NBA, but their ceiling is higher than anybody else's. With 3 Hall of Famers on that roster, 3 guys that can score from anywhere on the court. But I don't think they're going to be healthy. They haven't had that chemistry together. When you look at the Clippers last year, it took them time to put it together, right? LeBron has never won the first year in any place that he went. Miami was the second year. Cleveland was the second year. Lakers was the second year, right? It takes time to develop chemistry. It takes time to get healthy for KD, who seemingly can't stay healthy whatsoever now, which is a real huge concern. So as much as I like Brooklyn, their lack of team chemistry And frankly, without James Harden on that court, we can talk about KD being the best player or second best player on the planet. Their record when it's Harden and Kyrie is still pretty good. Their record with KD and Kyrie is like 500, right? Like it's not that impressive. So, and knowing that the Nets have no real defensive matchup for Giannis, I'm pulling the trigger here. I'm going to say the Bucks are going to win in the semi-conference round, go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the 76ers are going to roll Atlanta, 4 or 5 games in that series to advance. And so then we're going to have Philadelphia versus Milwaukee in the conference finals. I think this is going to be a tremendous matchup. These two teams do not like each other. There's a little gamesmanship going back and forth in some of these matchups. Giannis sitting down on the court and stuff, and a couple other things that have happened in previous matchups this season. I think as much as I want Milwaukee to be the team, I think it's a coin flip. Screw it. I'm going to say Bucks win. Bucks will advance. I think that they have learned so much in the past 2 years. Budenholzer will make the adjustments that he has to make. And I'm going to say that the Bucks win in a 6 or 7 game series over the 76ers to advance to be the representative in the finals from the Eastern Conference.
All right. So your pick is Milwaukee. All right. I mostly agree. I swap Brooklyn with Milwaukee though down the stretch. That's where I differ. Is just instead of Milwaukee winning, I have Brooklyn going on, and I don't know if they beat Philadelphia right now, but it wouldn't surprise me them ending up in the finals. I think that's very likely as of right now. But hey, your points were good. It makes sense. We'll see. But there are our Eastern Conference predictions.